Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the MonstrousWalker show. I'm the author of the above book, Monstrous, under my pseudonym Tommy Walker, and I am the host, inventor of the guessing game, which we play at Book Crossing pretty much continuously. And what now? The mystery is Spiral. This is important to keep in mind because we are going to hopefully have our heart attacks together as we find out if the mystery's been solved. But what makes this one very, very, very special, and not just very special, is I'm going to go through the record. I'm going to go through the rules of the game a bit more carefully than usual. Well, totally more carefully and more thoroughly than I have before. I've mostly just been playing the thing without a lot of comments on how certain scores are derived. So this is for anyone out there who wants to be a host someday. We're going to go over how the how the game is played and how basic scores are determined. Okay? So let's get on with it. And let's find out if we get to have a heart attack here. Is this what we want to do? No, this is not what we want to do. What we want to do first, okay, here we are at Book Crossing. This is where I play it. And I'm not looking for new players by any means for myself to host. Because I have my hands full with 8 of us rabid players. But I'm hoping to inspire others to take up the mantle, take this game to the four corners of the world by becoming hosts at your favorite website or where you think this game could take off. Let's visit how basic scores are determined, and then that'll take us a long ways. Excuse me, where do we want to go? This way? Here we go. How basic scores are determined. Hits and shares are what it's all about. Hits as in how many hits does your guess get when deeper webbed inside quotes like this. Guess. Shares as in how many web pages do your guess in my mystery share. Guess mystery. Shares adjusted for mystery hits divided by guess hits gives percentage, which multiplied by shares yields traditional overall score. A third measure, differentials, is found by subtracting shares rank from hits rank. So all well so far, and as we move forward, of course, you can note the point on the video that this happens. Go back and read this on your own time. The one thing that's not self-explanatory is what the heck this is, adjusted for mystery hits. So when we go over the game, I'll have to really show you what this means, what it means for shares to be adjusted for mystery hits. Other than that, you've just been told how to figure out percentages, traditionals, and differentials, which we call the big three. All right? And now, let us have our heart attack together, if the gods see fit. The mystery is Spiral, and we're going to see what new guesses have come in. If anyone has guessed Spiral, I have a bit of a feeling that we might possibly, maybe I'm just being optimistic, we might be kind of close. It might be starting to close in on the mystery. Let's see what we have. Wait a second. 1 month ago. 1 month ago. Is that all you got? Where am I? Am I in the right place? I'm totally in the wrong place. Oh, okay. Is that how it goes? See, I set one of these to... I set one of my sort options to full. I wonder if that flipped everything to this way. Okay, here we go. This is going to make a lot more sense. Okay, is that all you got? The current mystery is called Is That All You Got? Guessing in 103. I always uptick them one. Next game will be Guessing Game 104. I mix it up how I name them. It's really just the guessing game, basically. I've called it Hot and Cold. Hot and Cold by, well, originally we used the Google search engine. Hot and Cold by Google. But we've gone through many changes. Search engine, hot and cold would be one way to put it. Okay. And so, well, this is also a good thing for you as host to take upon yourself. Guess my mystery. I mean, this is how we play, the essence of it. Guess my mystery, and Deeper Web will tell us how close you are. The Deeper Web search engine. Part of speech, more than just noun. That's this particular mystery. I tell them the part of speech, and I wish I didn't have to, frankly. I wish I didn't feel that I had to. If you take this game to another part of the globe, if you particularly, I think if you bring it to, let me see, perhaps some more analytical sorts, where analytical sorts can be found in more abundance, maybe you can get by with dropping the part of speech. Maybe you can get by with playing open mysteries. And that's one of the things. There's all sorts of reasons that I would love for this game to... I'd love to see more variations of this game. I'd like to observe myself how some of these things could play out. My little corner, my little niche that I've found and have been tending to, I feel that we need a part of speech clue. But I would love for others to play opens, and for me to discover you playing these opens, and I could enjoy those games too. So anyways, part of speech, in this case, more than just noun. It's noun, but there's more than that. There's other parts, at least one other part of speech. Have a guess or a probe or two. I'll show you how they did, and then you may have two more. I try to take care of your submissions at least twice a day. Good luck, keep the faith, and have fun. A guess or a probe or two. Well, you know, just a way of saying that not every submission needs to try to hit a home run. That's all I'm trying to say there. Let's see what we got. The mystery is Spiral. Radio and Cycle. What's up with that? Cycle. Well, we had Circle. I suppose Cycle's closer to Circle than it is to Spiral. Let's see what we got there. Oh, somebody's in agony. The new motorbike isn't badly damaged. So someone wrecked their motorbike and wrecked themselves in the process? Is that what we're just finding out? Taking this conversation backwards. She had an accident on her motorcycle. 2 broken toes. New motorcycle. Oh. Less than 1 mile from bike shop. My wife had an accident on her new motorcycle. Does this mean that she buys the thing and she injures herself in her first mile of driving? Is that what actually happened? 11 hours ago. Wow. Hmm. Well, okay. Oh, people. We have our best. I think we have a percentage number one here. We ought to. We really ought to. Samsung Galaxy. The scent that we are strong on is for Spiral Galaxy. Spiral, the Spiral Sense Spiral Galaxy is the one that we're getting really close to. So here's a kind of galaxy, and that's whoa, baby. That is we're close, cut. We're close, kids. We are close. Oh my. Okay, there's my most recent update. Yeah, not a moment too soon for me to explain the rules. Finally, after I've been doing these delayed broadcasts, where they're going to be they're live. They're live for me, but I can't show them until the mystery is solved. It's not safe to show them until the mystery is solved. So they're going to be. So when you're hearing it, you're getting them as delayed broadcasts on YouTube. Oh my goodness! So there's that. Just want to go back. Once in a while, I miss things. Target near future. We sure hope that was incorporated, and it was. So, yep. Oh boy. And I'm curious about one other thing. Was it Francis who was giving me links to these cool live cameras, or did I misidentify? Francis. Oh yeah. Francis is the one who gave me these links. Good deal. And I said, cool, very cool, Francis. I had this jolts of fear that it might have been Libra Romana, and that I misidentified Libra Romana as Francis. Okay. Nothing else is particularly here or there. Francis is hot. Francis is hot on it. The question is, can she back out of these high percentage scores and give us the broader term that we need for the solve? Collapse, freak, target, near future. All of that stuff was dealt with. And here we are for the new batch. And I don't think I can fit everybody into this is pretty good. I don't know. Spiral. Okay. Anyhow, here's our new guesses. Here's a good place to start. Android and Samsung Galaxy. Oh, what am I doing there? Oh, I would have ideally been a touch more prepared for you. Ideally would have spent a little bit more time dotting the I's, crossing the T's before I began recording. We scrolling to the bottom of the list. Yeah, here we are. Column K is where it all begins. Column K is where I put the guesses. That's a good thing to know. It's shaken out as column K. I don't know if you were to take up hosting. Can't swear where ideally these things would fall for you, but as a host, you do need to know that we need to Okay, at this point, we don't need that anymore. Stop confusing ourselves. Android and Samsung Galaxy. Android and Samsung. Android, Samsung Galaxy. I suppose that's where the Samsung Instruments gets their name. Everybody likes to give themselves a cool name. Those were guessed by Francis. And one comment that I could make is that, or that comes to mind, is that from my years of experience, and it's about 8 years to be imprecise, cool words do not actually tend to make especially cool mysteries. Because any old person, if you want to be led to a mystery's inherent meaning, because if it's a cool word, people will attach that word to all sorts of things that have little to do with what the cool word means. And originally, part of a cool word's coolness is going to come from its meaning. But then companies will co-opt it. People will co-opt it for their screen names. And movies will be made that are not especially interesting movies. Bad movies, mediocre movies will co-opt your cool word, your cool term. Highly forgettable television shows will co-opt your cool term, and you won't get the mystery you thought you were getting. Beyond that, people know, humans know that other humans like cool terms. And here's another point. Once upon a time, my mystery was Zugzwing. And, well, I liked the letter Z. I thought it was a cool term. I'm into chess. So I made Zugzwing my mystery. And along comes a player who knows nothing about chess, but eventually it became clear that the mystery had something to do with chess. And so with that little clue, something to do with chess, she looks through a whole bunch of words and goes just, and then her eye goes straight to the coolest term on the list, and the coolest term was Zugzwing, and that was my mystery. So beware. There's a couple of reasons to beware of cool terms. Future hosts of the world. So Android and Samsung Galaxy, and let's move on. Samsung Galaxy is bound, of course, as I said, to become a new champion. Because what we're looking for is spiral, as in spiral galaxy. Here's our first kind of galaxy. Okay, Android and Samsung Galaxy. April, says Harley. Why? April's a true guess, right? A number of them have the same. Okay, April. I'm going to say that April is actually a guess by Harley. And it's maybe a little bit odd that he's not pairing that guess with anything. It is possible to swamp yourself with guesses. There's not a lot of point necessarily to guess twice instead of once if you don't know the mystery, or especially if you know enough not to know. If you know enough not to, if you know enough to know that you don't know it. Okay, so there's conversation. Radio and cycle, says Grayflink. I am so glad that we don't have tragic news. Because how does the guessing game continue jauntily along if we are told tragic news? This story has its comic side to it. Not sure how to play it. Radio and cycle, says Grayflink, and apparently that's all we have. Oh. And so conversation, but no more in terms of guesses. So actually not much at all in terms of guesses here, since Harley didn't even bother with his full allotment. But these 5 have a very good one, and I wonder about, and beyond that, I wonder about cycle. So let's see if we have. So we basically we write all our guesses down. I like to attach the guess, and I think it should be standard to well, for the statistical analysis, you're going to certainly want to know who guessed the guesses. So we, as you have observed, we jot down the guesses, and we jot down in our spreadsheets who guessed them, who's responsible for the guesses. Once that is done, we bring up our Control F, and we make sure we're not dealing with any repeats. That's what this is all about. Android is not a repeat. I would have known about Samsung, but we'll humor it, look it up. April is not a repeat. See, I'm hitting enter to look for all cases of radio showing up. There's an example of radio something, radio astronomy, radio telescope, radio waves, and finally radio. And cycle, we've not seen that. So none of these are repeats. None of these are exact repeats, even though the word radio has appeared in other guesses. And so with that knowledge, so we're not dealing with any repeats, we can continue along with the guess count. So before we started this evening, there had been 560 guesses, and we have now built up to 565. As mentioned in the first post, I let my people guess twice at a time. Give 2 guesses at one time. This may vary according to what you feel you can handle as a workload. My feeling is that if I were to, I would say any more than 10 guessers. With less than 10 guessers, I've been finding myself able to handle 2 guesses per player. Two guesses per player per round. But if any more than 10 guessers, I think I would, any more than overall pool of 10 guessers in a game, and I would take away that second guess privilege, because at that point the workload would become, I believe the workload would become too much for me. So that's what I can handle. Perhaps a little bit like, allowing a pawn in chess to leap out 2 spaces at the start of a game. Wait a second. No, that doesn't follow, because I always let the move jump into 2 at a time. It moves the game along faster. Okay. It moves the game along and I feel like I can handle it. So I like to give them 2 guesses at a time. Better quality, though, we've gone with 1 guess rules before. At an earlier stage, we were 1 guess at a time people, and that led to better quality. It led to more feedback on my part, fewer guesses to per feedback loop, and the quality was better. The guess counts were much more impressively low. So that would be something for you to consider. But it might make the pacing feel a little bit on the excruciating side from the guesser's perspective. So that would be a reason to do as I am doing in this game and letting them have 2 guesses at a time. So anyways, now we've done that. We've recorded the number of guesses, and the guess number is attached to each guess for referencing sake. And now what we do is we move on over to column T in my case, which is mystery hits. So this has its role. This has its role towards adjusted shares. It's part of what we're looking for doing adjusted shares. Anyways, you plug in the mystery, and I've got Spiral waiting to be entered. So our mystery at this point has 10.1 million hits. We're going to copy. that Spiral, and we're going to record the 10.1, or bring that down. It's the same as it was last round. No change there. So we just bring that down 5. See, they're all in the same plane. 10.1. This is a juncture at which I like to save my work. So I don't know where the convention started exactly, but it's a point that that works for me. So we know our mystery hits, and let's see now. I suppose let's continue our process, and as we get to things, I'll explain more deeply. Android is our first guess of this round. Android, Spiral. What do you think? Android, Spiral. I don't know. Kind of don't think so. I definitely don't think so now. Look who's co-opted this cool word. Yeah, this is a co-opted word in a big way. 298 million. I think companies have been doing pretty badly, but well, maybe possibly. Yeah, pretty badly. 1,430,000. Now, here's going to be the big one. Well, I guess the situation that we were talking about has come up now. Okay. Here column Q is what we call raw shares. Or shares. This is shares before we make distinctions about raw and adjusted. Once we bring adjusted into the mix, then from that point, you need to start calling shares raw shares. Only then is there a need for a new term. So, but here's our basic shares. This is column Q is the shares figure that Deeper Web spits out at you. Okay. And we had the 1,430,000. This is by thousands. Okay. For Android. 1,430,000. And you see over here in column W that 1,430,000 has taken an itty bitty spike upward to 1,458, et cetera, so forth. Now the deal there, I think if we can bring this up, here's an example of here's what's going on in column W that accounts for the change. Adjusted shares. The magic of this 10.3 at the start is that 10.3 million mystery hits is the number we had at the start of the game. When we first started playing this game a month ago, it turns out, and Francis guessed baseball, the mystery spiral was giving us 10.3 million hits. And so forevermore, 10.3 for this game has enjoyed a sacred quality. Okay, that 10.3. So whatever the game is, you start with, but you plug in whatever the heck, bring our cursor over here. You start with whatever the heck the mystery hits was at the start of the game, whatever that number is, you plug it in here, and you divide that by T, which is current mystery hits, times Q, which is shares. Oh, goodness gracious. Didn't want to do that. So, once again, here W here is adjusted shares. To find adjusted shares, or adjusted shares equals, over here, adjusted shares, let's imagine, equals mystery hits at the start of the game divided by current mystery hits times shares, or times raw shares. That gets you adjusted shares. All right? Good enough. Once upon a time, things were simpler, and we didn't. I did not make these adjustments. And what I would do back in the day was, when things started spiking and shares started increasing for every guess that happened, I would say that we were experiencing turbulence. There would be a spike, a spike in mystery hits, and I just tell them, make a mental adjustment. Mystery hits are larger than they used to be. Shares are going to be correspondingly larger. Traditional scores will be correspondingly larger. And just telling the people, it's not necessarily because your guesses are so hot that these scores are getting better, but because of the turbulence we are experiencing. And now instead of just warning us that we're experiencing turbulence because of some general increase in mystery hits, I've actually built in a formula that tries to neutralize the effects of turbulence, the effects of changes in mystery hits from one round to the next. And it's pretty effective. Though there are cases that come up sometimes when this adjustment is not sufficient. Sometimes there are crazy high spikes in hits that a single website will be responsible for, and this adjustment is not meant to be able to handle those types of situations. When they come up, I would tell you just use your best judgment, use your human brain to try to make an accounting of how to deal with what you're seeing if the spikes get too unruly. In this particular game, though, there's been no problem. There's been no such problem. But yes, I will eventually. There comes a point. There can come a point sometimes when I throw the formulas out the window or I bring in some more human judgment about how to treat guesses um, during crazy turbulent times. But this does fine for moderate turbulence. I have found letting the formula do its thing does fine in cases of moderate turbulence. All right, enough said. Samsung Galaxy. This is going to be it. Now, you sit back and marvel at my ability to call these things. I never heard of a spiral galaxy before this mystery. So, but I feel like I know my mystery well enough to say that Samsung Galaxy is going to be a champ. So here we go, Samsung Galaxy. I haven't even heard of Samsung Galaxy. I've never heard of the Samsung Galaxy, and I'm telling you it's going to be a champ. What I have heard of, though, is Spiral Galaxy, and it's very clear that Spiral Galaxy is the kind of spiral that's accounting for this descent that we are on. And here's the first, and I can also vouch this is the first kind of galaxy that has been guessed in this game. Now, this really, oh, Jesus, you know what? I've blown it. Oh, I've blown it. Because look at this. Samsung Galaxy, both of these words have been co-opted by smartphone and phone and Android and all this stuff. Samsung Galaxy has been co-opted. Now, is there stylized a series of Android-powered mobile computing devices designed and marketed cell phones. Oh, Jesus, really? Oh my. So is this based on anything? Is Samsung Galaxy only this Android thing and not a real galaxy? It's not even named for a real galaxy? Oh my good. Well, okay, I've blown it. We're looking for a kind of galaxy. This is interesting. We're looking for a kind of galaxy. I'm wondering if Harley might be getting his April guess from this. Are we looking at the same things, possibly? Probably not, but I don't know. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's all it means. There is no real life Samsung Galaxy. Oh, boy. So what does this mean? If this goes into the toilet, will anybody else guess a kind of galaxy? Will we be gun shy about guessing future types of galaxies? This has ruined it for us? Oh, goodness gracious. Got to put it in capitals, though. Capitals for the first letters. 37 million. Oh, dearie dear. Ah, 106,000. Holy crap, that is awful. Oh, that is awful. And I'm thinking there may be no limit to how awful this is. I'm thinking we could be. I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if this finished in last place of differentials. Samsung Galaxy, 37 million. Damn company product name, 106,000. Oh my lord. Oh, that is disgusting. And what if it finishes in last place? We're looking for the mystery. We're looking for a spiral, as in Spiral Galaxy. Yet Samsung Galaxy could go straight to the bottom of the list. I was thinking, well, I would guess Spiral Galaxy, but we saw how bad Samsung did. I don't think I dare go that way again. Oh man. I was thinking, oh, we're just around the corner. But this could really be throwing us. Oh my goodness. Wow. So April is guessed. Probably a lot of hits there. Let's see. 441 million is quite a lot. 441 mil. Oh, pretty darn good, actually. Not as good as it could be, though. 8 mil, 610,000. Trying to think that over. It's up there. 74,000. Android. Da 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 da. Really? 7,000 for Android? It's a lot of difference. Okay, radio. Radio spiral. I don't think so, really. But I am hopeful about cycle. 197 million. So yeah, here we are. We're just repeating our processes. What was it? 197 million? 197 and 1260? 1,260,000. Yeah, 197 million. And then 1,260. So now here's the one I have hope for. Oh, story of the day. I can't tell them what the story of the day is, though, can I? Sometimes I can't do such things. Now, I'm supposed to put quotes on both sides. Probably not going to mean anything. 61.7 mil. What? Really? Apparently it did mean something. I want to sneak up on this one again, though. I would not have thought there'd be such a difference between putting bracketing it with a second parentheses and not. 46.8 mil for cycle. And 740,000. I do think that's going to be a mild plus. Not anything to get excited over, though. Let's try this again. Cycle. 46.8 mil. Yeah, 46.8 mil, 740. And that is our set. And as I have done this, I guess we should go through this a little bit. When I plug in these numbers, this column D and this column G spits out automatically. G is W divided by N, which is adjusted shares divided by hits or guess hits. Let's look it up here. Look at our columns. Adjusted shares. So adjusted shares divided by guess hits equals percentage score. And then for overalls, we have G times W. So that is, so that once percentage is established, then you can take your percentage score and multiply it times the adjusted shares right there. And that will leave you with overall score. So percentage score times adjusted shares equals overall score. Okay? Here is a fairly logical moment for firing up the page again to see if any guesses have snuck in. I'd kind of rather not lose more work. I'd probably rather not waste any work more than I have to, because I'd have to do a lot of stuff over again if I had gone any further and there were new guesses showing up. So now that we have done all our guesses of the batch, barring one last second miracle, we're now what we're going to do is we're going to determine differentials. We've already figured out percentage score. We've already figured out overall score. Now we're going to figure out differentials, which is what we call the third of the big three. And we begin by sorting everything by most hits. We're going to find out every guess's hits rank. And we can see this blank here attaches to April. So we can see now that the heaviest hitter of the batch is in 20th place on the list. So we scroll. It's going to go down to 565. All right. So now we know everybody's hits rank. And now we're going to sort the whole business by most shares in order to find everybody's shares rank. Now, there's a little bit of strangeness going on here. I've been finding my spreadsheet for some reason is not breaking ties in the way that I ask it to. We have this 8-way tie. We have 8 different guesses that are registering 100% the shares that the mystery has hits. We have 8 different guesses doing that, and they're not shaking out in the way that I'm asking this Excel to shake them out, breaking the ties. So, and really it should be corresponding. The first in hits, it should be a most hits tiebreaker, and Excel is not cooperating with me. So I'm going to take up the scroll from here. As strange as this looks, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, it is correct. And I'm going to take up the scroll from here. So I'm bringing in my own brain a little bit because I've got some kind of glitch going on that's preventing Excel from doing what I ask it to. So now we have hits rank and we have shares rank. And from that point, once we know these two things, hits rank and shares rank, we can determine differentials. Differentials is hits rank minus shares rank. That's how you get the differential score. Differential score is hits rank minus shares rank. One little example, 561 minus 564 equals -3. That's differentials for you. Hits rank minus shares rank. Once we have that established, it is helpful for me to order everything by largest hits number. I guess there is a why behind that. It is not necessarily intuitive, immediately intuitive, because most often we like smallest hits number. But it is helpful for me. It's helpful for me when I do the presentation for in case of ties. If there is a tie for first, it's helpful for me to a guess that might normally be appear second, because it is the more recently guessed of the tied terms, and it appears second. For my purposes in the presentation, it's still in first place. It's in a first place tie, and it loses the tiebreaker to the one that was guessed earlier. So in a way it appears, in a way it's second in some form, but it's also, in another way of reckoning, it is tied for first. It might appear second, and we'll call it second for some purposes, but it's still tied for first. So that, and I can bring that out by ordering by ordering by largest guess number, most recent guess number, which is the largest. Okay, for this point, we scroll by largest differential. And a couple of terms that no one can make hide nor hair of. I mean, they look like they go together, premiere and screening, but no one has found the source of those high scores. So here we are finding out, getting everybody ranked by differentials. We know what the pure numbers are. Oh, it happened. It is. That did it. Samsung Galaxy. Oh, not the Spiral Galaxy would be the champ, but can't get much closer than that. We will not be able to get much closer to Spiral than Spiral Galaxy, but no further away than, oh my lord. Oh my lord. Last place in differential. That actually happened. Samsung Galaxy. I was so sure it was going to be a new champion, and it is last in differentials. Well, this is a great game, folks. The guessing game is a great game. Hot and cold. Search engine hot and cold. You are going to want to be a host and love this forever. And you, like me, will be the most popular person on your website, or on the website you choose. No guarantee there. I've tried to take this a few places, and I have not quite got it to stick anywhere. I don't have a vast history of trying and failing, but I have brought it to a couple of places where the thing has not stuck as it has at Book Crossing. But I also can tell you that the guessing game is the most popular. It is the most played game on Book Crossing in the Fun and Games forum. We are far and away the longest running game. We are the most active game, the most common game to appear in the as the most recently posted. So I am confident to say that it is the most popular game on Book Crossing. It's also the most interactive. It's also maybe one of the very few interactive, or it might be unique in that it involves a host that is constantly tending to it, rather than just the person below says the person below, and it just what runs itself. So the character of the game is different, and that could have something to do with it um, being the most popular and everything else. But it is a fact. It is the most popular game, and also cool in its own way. To put a finer point on it, I am personally probably the least popular person on Book Crossing, or I was before I found my game. Before I found this game, as just someone, as a person who would insinuate himself in chat room, or not chat room, chit chat conversations. I would say I would call myself the least popular person in the chit chat room. But but this person, he comes back. He has this cool game. He doesn't know a better place to try it out than Book Crossing, and the least popular chit chat guy in the whole on the whole site becomes the host of the most popular game. So if you have, if you're at all likable in print in a room full of women, or no, you can take it wherever you want though. But if you are, the least bit popular in the circles you run in, you could very well have more popularity than me, or bring more popularity to your version of the guessing game than I can bring to mine. So it's a beautiful game. It's beautiful enough to overcome my personality, or lack thereof. So, and where are we? We've ranked everybody. I think we've done everything we need to do, right? It takes this down to 565. All the differentials are ranked. Okay. And with that done, we now go to largest AP. This will put the most recent guesses at the top of our list. We're going to only concern ourselves with this set of 5. And what a gruesome one. This is a gruesome loss. But Cycle, of course, Cycle was the bright spot. I didn't realize Samsung Galaxy was some damn product. So that was pretty awful. So anyways, here's the 5. And now we're going to sort just this 5, just this batch, by percentages. And that leaves us with, why don't I have this figured out? I never did it. I never sorted them by percentage. Apparently not. Oh, I guess I didn't, did I? Yeah, I skipped a few steps. Well, we're okay. It spits out automatically percentages and traditional scores. It doesn't spit out rankings though, so we have to go through the whole business and scroll find out everybody's percentage rank. Okay, there's percentage ranks, 5 down to 565. I guess I must have also skipped doing traditional ranks. So now we're going to scroll and find out everybody's traditional rank. Yes, normally I figured out everybody's percentage rank and everybody's traditional rank before I find out everybody's differential rank. And April scored very well, but that was a function of just being really big on shares and not necessarily being big on shares by virtue of being big on hits and not by virtue of any particular relatedness to get excited over. Even though 19th is a very nice looking score. It's a little bit of a freak show measure, this overall scores. It's a nice, quick and dirty. Accuracy or usefulness. I think its greatest usefulness is how it gives you a broad overview in a very quick and dirty way. This is also the first measure we ever used, overall scores. But there's no magic really in multiplying percentage times shares. There is magic in combining the two in some way. And we have another measure called newfangled overall scores that just adds shares rank to percentage rank. The way we do it with the multiplying, there's a particular bias towards high share guesses because from term to term, word to word, shares have a greater potential to vary. There's more variance in shares from one guess to another than there is variance in percentage. So we're very, very biased towards high shares. And if you use a particularly high share, high hit search engine, that'll make the bias even more striking. Once upon a time, we used Yahoo as our search engine, and that made for a rather extreme bias in favor of high share, high hit guesses. So a lot depends on just the search engine that you use for this particular measure. Okay. I believe we're ready now. I believe we're actually ready as I chew my salad. AP largest. Now we've got everything as we're supposed to have them. We're going to take the first 5. And there's a tendency, you look over here, knowing that the person guessed Samsung Galaxy. Maybe I should, in fact. Maybe I should. I think I should. I am going to change this to a capitalized Android because I now have a clue of the guesser's intent with Samsung Galaxy. The guesser's intent was a product. So if you guess Android, you have your mind. You clearly, knowing that you guess Samsung Galaxy later and knowing now what Samsung Galaxy actually means, is clear enough that they had their minds on the product Android rather than the general word. So normally I would not have capitalized Android, but understanding intent and where the guesser's head was at, I am going to give the capital because of the intent. It has no material bearing, by the way. Deeper Web is not case sensitive. It is also not especially dash sensitive as opposed to spaces. It'll read the dash as a space. But you know, I like to spell things correctly. I'll correct misspellings and not call attention to them normally. Among other things. Oh, I guess there's all kinds of wrinkles, and not every wrinkle that the guessing game employs is borne out in these 5 guesses. And we won't get that technical at this point. We won't make the attempt to. Probably on the rather impossible side to achieve to be able to express every wrinkle to you right off the bat. Anyway, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some pretty awful ones here. We're going to do this by largest G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty ghastly. Pretty ghastly, folks. Copy. And now here's the last chance to let any guessers in. If I do have any more guesses, I will not exactly happily, but acceptingly allow my work to be wasted in terms of rankings and do them all over again, because I'd rather do 1 post than 2. But nope, it's still the same situation. I should clearly make some mention of the motorcycle accident, I think. Percentages. Are we loaded, or is this going to be the word spiral? Sometimes if I haven't loaded the percentages as I think I have, otherwise the most recently loaded term I would have is the mystery, and it can get rather frightening, hairy to see my mystery accidentally posted. So far, I've never hit the save button from that point, but it's a frightening thing to ever so briefly have your mystery sitting there on your post. Okay, so now we'll take these 5 guesses and we order them by traditionals, which over here is found in column AA. Here's the traditionals. And it's 4/5 in the top half if you want to be happy about such things. Copy. But of course, it has mostly been a round of high hitters, unusually high hitters. High hitters that, well, it kind of tells you, it kind of makes a suggestion that the mystery itself is on the high hit side. But as far as meaning, as far as proximity, nope, you're not doing so hot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to order it by AK. That's where we stick our differentials. Now everybody's loaded by AK. And this is an absolutely ghastly loss. I don't think I want to bring attention to it. I think it should be plain enough. I don't think I have to mention every single game that our losing streak continues. It's now at, I guess, 5 straight. We had 7 straight what we call differential wins with more positives and negatives. And now 5 straight games of differential losses. And this is one of the more gruesome ones. That Samsung Galaxy made it one of the more gruesome ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Copy. Oh. Deedly, 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 dee. You know what? It's a scoop for Samsung Galaxy to finish last. Oh my goodness. I don't think it's time to bring in this stats for Galaxy. 565 guesses. Same number of guesses as feet that Mickey Mantle hit that one home run. So 565 guesses. We've now ordered. It was something. Sorry, that's a normal feature of my updates. How many guesses there have been? We have posted the differentials. We have posted the traditionals. We have posted the percentages. Nothing went that high. 19th April, pretty nice cosmetic, and also very curious that. And oh my God! It is April 19th! Oh! This is a scoop, kids! It is actually April 19th. Oh ho 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 ho! It is the top of the score in traditionals. Why not mention it? Oh boy! I'm excited. That's a sign that it's headline worthy. Traditionals. 19th April. And in Britain, they actually call it that, don't they? They actually call it 19th April rather than April 19th. Most of the world that my guessing game is played calls it 19th April instead of April 19th, I think. But, well, and actually the 4/5 upper half in traditionals. Maybe we don't even want to bring attention to how god-awful we were in differentials when we did so well in traditionals. It's not my job to tell you what's important. It's not my job to tell you that we were more god-awful than we were good. Let them go ahead and look at their traditional scores and think they did well. Radio, Android, Samsung Galaxy. Wow. 19th April. On April 19th. Oh my goodness. And then differential bottom 10 in honor of a new bottommost champ as these things go. Differential bottom 10. Rather amazing. Yep, not all galaxies do well. Not product galaxies. You don't care about any damn products. God, what if it discourages them from guessing other galaxies? Okay, so what do we have? We are looking for AK smallest. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what? I think I still have to do AP smallest. I think that's still the right way to do it. And then AK smallest for tie-breaking case. Earliest guess number tiebreaker. So here we have Blu-ray. Blu-ray is thought to score better for the fact. No. Blu-ray is thought to score better for the fact that it. No. When I order it this way, when I order it backwards, I need to do it by largest guess number, most recent guess, and then do AK smallest. So here we are. And for some reason, some of this didn't exactly take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Wow. Copy. Some damn product. What a trip. Cinema. The things that are furthest from Spiral. Cinema, NCAA, Blu-ray, Showbiz, Maps to the Stars, Montage, Officer, Venue, Panorama, Samsung Galaxy. Oh my God. But you know what? If they have it in their heads, if a kind of galaxy is in a person's head, maybe we're just generally at the stage of the game where they're thinking of where kinds of galaxies are getting into their heads. Wasn't the right way to begin. But it's a sign. Kinds of galaxies are in their heads. Now it's just a matter of hoping, if I actually want this solved. I am the host. I am supposed to keep them at bay. But I'm kind of hoping that they will solve it before long. And I hope that this kind of nonsense doesn't discourage them from guessing another kind of galaxy. I've actually read that most galaxies are spiral galaxies. So in a way, it should be the very first thing that you guess. If you're going to be guessing a kind of galaxy, you should go to spiral galaxy before anything else. Type of galaxy 101. And if you're not there, then let's look at other kinds. But you should go to type of galaxy 101 before you go to an advanced type of galaxy. Oh my Lord. What a jolt. April 19th, on April 19th April, on April 19th. No exclamation points. Nothing did that well. I can't really conceive a cycle as being that impressive anywhere. Oh yes, the comment. 19th April on April 19th. Oh. My wife had an accident on her new motorcycle today. 2 broken toes and several patches of road rash. Less than 1 mile from bike shop. Oh my goodness. Not the thing to crack a joke on. Someone else has made a comment. 2 broken toes. Must be in agony. I hope the new motorbike isn't badly damaged. Less than 1 mile. Motorcyclists. How about, maybe a thing to say like motorcyclists make me nervous. 19th April, on April 19th. Oh. Motorcycles. 19th April on April 19th. Motorcycles. 19th April on April 19th. Motorcycle are dangerous. Why not? Anything to say? 19th April on April 19th. Motorcycles are dangerous. Oh. Let's see. Differential bottom 10. I think that's enough. I don't think I need to say anything more. I was about to regale them with tales of that I saw somebody. My most recent memory of a person on a motorcycle is I'm walking down the street and they're like half stopped, but only half, as they're craning their head to the left, apparently to see, I don't know, maybe looking for the Fred Meyer. Is that the Fred Meyer? Or something. Something caught this person's attention, and he craned his neck to the left, or he was curious, wondering about what there was to the left of him. He was given a good hard look, and I'm pretty much screaming, or almost screaming. I think I'm vocal. I don't think he could hear me, but I was vocal, and I am known to talk to myself in other scenarios. Uh, Voicing very loudly for the guy to look where you're going. Look where you are going. I don't want to see you splattered on the road. So please look where you are going. And that was the guy on a motorcycle, and I walked in on been pretty close to a motorcycle accident one time. It's not on one or anything, but it's just an ongoing theme, I guess. And here's the latest. I don't think I need to regale them with stories. I don't need to throw in my second get well soon for everybody involved. This is enough. 19th April, on April 19th, motorcycles are dangerous. Differential bottom 10, and don't let the new champ sway you against guessing Spiral Galaxy. Oh my God, but that's for me to keep to myself. There they are, the percentages, the traditionals. Oh, and is there any agreement between the big three? Percentage cycle radio, percentage. Okay, sorry, percentage. PR as 2 letters in percentage. April Cycle Radio, Android, Samsung. April Cycle Radio, Android, Samsung. April Cycle starts that one though. April starts that one. April. April Cycle Radio, Android, Samsung. Android, Samsung. So percentages and traditionals are in agreement. And this might be unprecedented for as long as I've been doing this particular mystery. Other mysteries have different structures and such things are less rare in them. But it has been a rare day that we have had agreement between any 2 of the big 3. It may be unprecedented for us to have agreement in any 2 of the big 3 in a batch that is has been as long as 5 guesses. Okay, 189th and 19th. Oopsie daisy. 19th for April. Cycle was 126th, 266th, and 126th. 185th for radio. Okay. 212 for Android. And 458th for Samsung Galaxy. Did I do that completely wrong? The traditional for Samsung Galaxy is 458th. I put it on the wrong side. Everyone else looks fine though. So traditionals can be, we get to Streamliner update. I enjoy that. Percentages and traditionals are in complete agreement. April Cycle Radio, Android, Samsung. And differentials, got an mystery is 565. It actually puts April in the bottom half. So Cycle is the only one that beat the curve. April probably gets a lot of points up here for being just general. As far as meaning, Cycle is not bad. And there we have it. Well, there are quite a few more things that didn't come up in this batch, and I will we can leave that for another time. Maybe when this comes out, I will link you to when this one comes out, I'll link you to some as yet undisclosed update that deals in extras. But there's all kinds of other measures that we do in this game that I have developed. When it comes into play, I'll show you. But this isn't enough. Purchasing new hosts, we don't want to fill your head too much. We don't want to discourage you. We don't want you to think this is too much to handle. Let's chew a little bit at a time. This certainly gives you some flavor of the guessing game and what a wonderful thing it is, and how wonderfully full of surprises it can be. So, cool things in our headline, conversations to play off of, differential bottom 10s when we get a new worst, percentages and traditional, streamline if possible, differentials, all by rankings. Other versions of this game, in earlier versions, I have actually printed the numbers involved, the actual scores rather than the rankings. But my particular setting, The people are number phobic, and even though rankings are numbers, but they're rather number phobic, and I try to keep it down to a dull roar. It's distracting for them, is what I've heard predominantly. People who read don't like numbers for the most part. And in fact, word people are liberals and number people are conservatives. This is a definitely liberal bastion here. And so, anyways, here we are. Bada boom, bada boom. Did I do the copy thing in case there's a disaster, complete disaster? And we save, and we see how we did, and we pray that at this point we pray that there are no new guesses, because I don't want to deal with this game for every second of my life. I'm going to hope now that there are no new guesses that I have to deal with in order to make sure that everyone's working on equal information. And I don't have to worry. It's the same old stuff. Maybe one last moment to admire our work now that it is actually complete. Bada boom. Yeah, it was a ghastly loss, but they can figure it out. I'm not going to... I like to stay quiet, in fact, after a certain point. See, let's see if they can figure it out on their own just how ghastly they've been playing. And curious, how long can they go without making adjustments? Adjustments for the fact they're doing so awful and try something different. So we're going to lay low. It is possible to interpret this as a good batch, depending on what you look at. I'm not going to persuade them otherwise. Don't feel like it today. Maybe I'm allowed to have a whim at some point. I think that's enough. So we're going to call it good. There's my beautiful book. What else do I want to do? I wanted to make this smaller. My beautiful book, my beautiful book, my beautiful notepad. Is there anything to say? This is, well, search engine in some basic sense. This is search engine, hot and cold, just a simple descriptor. You know, there's an object in the room, you close your eyes or you're blindfolded and you're led to an object in the room because the people in it are telling you warmer, warmer, or colder, colder, depending on how close you are. So we're doing the same thing with words, basically. And we're using a search engine to give objective pronouncements as to whether you are hot or cold, rather than letting the subjectivity of humans be your guide. And so search engine hot and cold is what we play. We call it MonstrousWalker's guessing game because that's what everybody calls it. When I have turned the game over to guest hosts and play the other side, my guest hosts have always referred to it as MonstrousWalker's guessing game. So please take it to the four corners of the globe. This beautiful game. Let's see many variations. Let's see many people enjoying it. Let's take over chess as the spot as the #1 game played in the world. How about that? For something to look forward to. It's got geez, it's infinite. Chess is finite. Chess is actually finite. I mean, there's only so many sands on the beach. But the guessing game is infinite. And I'm frankly not so sure that it wins in terms of fun. It certainly wins in terms of challenge. It could win in terms of satisfaction. Uh, Once you get through the thing, uh, my people seem to think it's fun as well. So it's a wonderful game, fascinating game, and I hope you get the bug as I have. This is Tommy Walker, and I am going to sign out.